And if you don't know now, you do know Gunz, the Gunz Show, live Hive of Madison Square Garden. This person knows that intro because I've known him for years, Mr. Alex Deleon. And yes, I got his last name finally correct for probably the first time ever, my man.
Yeah, it wasn't a DeLion or DeLong.
Dude, it took me forever to get it, but now he is known as Bohnes, Bohnes, my man, Madison Square Garden. This is wild. This is the first time that you've been atop Madison Square Garden here on the Gunz Show, dude.
It is, and it's a beautiful place, and it's good to see you. You've been kicking ass, and it's just great to be here, man. I appreciate you having me.
Well, first of all, congratulations, because this was a long time coming, and not to be an a-hole, but way too long for you to finally put out new music, my man.
Way too long, man. But I will say it's so much better than rushing it because, you know, I was writing all kinds of different songs and types of genres and music, and if I'm grateful for anything, I'm grateful that I waited. Right. Because if I would have released the first stuff that I wrote, it wouldn't have been as special, it wouldn't have been as great. And I think it's important for an artist to be inspired when he releases music. I don't ever want to be the conveyor belt that's just releasing songs because people are asking for them. You know, I want to be inspired, and I think the songs come out better when an artist is inspired and maybe pissed off, and yeah.
Do you think is it because you were, and obviously, you know, you were in the cab, et cetera, but, you know, Bohnes is Bohnes. It's something different. It's, you know, for fans of the old stuff, new stuff, and things to come, so, which is rad. But do you think, are you like a perfectionist? Is that why? Or was it just like you just weren't inspired or it just didn't hit at the time?
I definitely am a perfectionist.
Yeah, you're a nut.
If I write songs for somebody else, I write it in like, you know, a few hours. If I write songs for me, it takes months. But I think the main thing was I started the cab when I was 14. I left for tour 2 weeks after I graduated. So I never really got to live a life and to figure out who I was outside of the band. Like, graduated high school, you know, and I probably between the ages of 18 and 23, it's like when you grow the most. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're finding your friend group and you're finding your place in the world. And I spent all of those years
on the road, in a van, everywhere. Yeah,
waking up in a van, waking up in a tour bus, going on stage, going off stage. And when the cab ended, I was just like, whoa, that's been a whirlwind of 10 years. Who the F am I? Like, you know, I have to figure this out and I have to live a little bit because all these years have passed me by and I wouldn't trade all of those.
So there's no regrets there, but the fact is you need that, you need time to find yourself.
I just needed time to like figure it out and see the world and meet people. You know, I met like the love of my life. I saw 50 to 60 countries at that time, and I wrote an awesome album so that I really am proud of. So no regrets, man.
We'll talk about the album in a second, but you just brought up the countries thing. I think I saw it on Twitter, I don't know, maybe in the last couple of months, last couple of weeks, that you told somebody that one of the biggest things was to, I was just scrolling through and I saw like to travel as much as you can. Like you were saying, that's like one of the coolest or best advice that you could give somebody out there.
Absolutely. I think to gain true empathy and true perspective in life and of the world, you have to see it. And not, you know, I'm not telling everyone like you have to go see 70 countries, right? It's not always traveling outside of the country. You can go to other states, you can go to other cities or counties. It's more about getting out of your comfort zone and meeting people and hearing their stories, because I don't think, you know, we all live in our own reality, and the more you meet people and hear what they've gone through and to hear how they look at the world, I think the more you understand about yourself, but the more that you feel for them and you understand your place in it all. And I think it's really important in life.
It's kind of wild because, you know, there's two universal signs of or expressions of emotion out there. One is a smile. I don't care what country you're from or what religion or anything like that. Everyone understands a smile. And then the other one is tears, and everybody has tears. And you know what I mean? Like literally those are the two universal things. Like the waving hello might not mean the same thing, but tears and smiles are the two things that it's just human to human expression.
Yeah, and I feel that.
How about that? How about that coming from me? That was pretty good.
Deepest you've ever gotten right there. Yeah, man. I think it's I think you can find similarities with any person in the world you meet, and I think you'll find differences in every single person you'll meet. So, yeah, I made some of my best friends the past few years in Belgium, Italy, Australia. I have friends from all over that that live complete different lives than me, right? Who didn't know Alex the singer, who didn't even know or care about, didn't even know I was in a band when I met him. You know, I probably found out a few months into it. Oh, you used to be in a band? And I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that you can come from any walk of life and you can find a friend and understand each other and grow and develop together. It's great.
So you have the album. By the way, it's Bones. Alex Deleon here. You can follow him, Bones, on Twitter, Bohnes. And then is it the Insta officially Bones? All right, so everything's Bones now. You got the album. It's called 206. It's Act 1. Just tell me about the Bones thing in general, because I don't know the backstory on it. Obviously, it's skeleton focus or bone focus, etc. But, the masks, we were just at a listening party for you. Kids had the masks. Kids had the merch out for there. Where did this come from? What was the obsession or with it for you?
I think the key was that when I left, when the cab ended, I wanted people to know that I was not taking a break from the cab because I thought that my name was bigger or that I thought that I could do it without them. Because, I love those guys and those guys contributed just as much as I did. Always. It was always like an equal thing. But it was about just wanting to do something new and having something else to say. So I knew I wanted it to be a project because who knows if I'll do a different genre in the future. Like, I don't know. I never know what the future holds. But I remember I was traveling and I was at the catacombs in Paris, and which is, hundreds of thousands of bones or millions of bones underground for miles and miles. And I remember looking at these skeletons. I've told this story, so sorry if you guys have heard this before.
Sorry, I don't stalk you. I don't know that.
Yeah, you're fine.
There's always a first-time listener out there, no matter what.
Exactly. So I remember seeing these bones and being like, man, like I couldn't tell if they were white, black, gay, straight, man, woman. You can't tell when it's just bones, and it's like underneath it all, we're all the same, and all you leave behind is how you made people feel and how you impacted the world. So for me, it was like your bones kind of tell your story, and they survive long after you're gone. So I wanted to create a project and an album that lyrically represented kind of this battle of life and death and finding who you are and like wanting to leave your mark on the world. So that was kind of where the project stemmed from.
So so the album comes out this coming Friday, March 30th, right? Yes, that would be this Friday. And that's Act 1. Yeah, so tell me about this. Is this we'll go through a couple of the tracks, especially my favorite because it's my show. Is Act 1 considered a concept album? Is any of this considered a concept album? Is it going in order of a story here? I hate that word concept album as well. I fucking hate that description, but
it's not. It could be. I mean, it might as well be a concept album because the whole album is kind of this mindset. It's like the chapter of my life and what was going through my head at this exact moment in time. So, is it a concept album? Not necessarily, but is it a Polaroid or a snapshot of exactly where I was, and does it all connect? Absolutely. But there's Act 1 and there's Act 2, and I didn't want to do EPs, but I guess technically, if
it's an extended EP though, yeah, 8 songs.
Yeah, so there's 16 total. I just wanted people to be able to digest and really get to know the songs. When you release a full album, there's so much. It's like it can be overpowering, and I just wanted to do a little bit at a time, and to kind of split the ballads up, split the hearts, like just kind of show the variety.
Is Act 2 different than Act 1 from a musical standpoint, or is it just that some of the songs in Act 2 won't fit Act 1?
No, they're the same. It's all kind of bones.
Same era type thing?
Yep, exactly. It's the same. The songs are kind of all written at different times, and all the different times within the same time. But they... Yeah, I mean, every song on the album is different, as that's kind of always been a thing that
you want. Yeah.
With the cab, I mean, it was the same. One song would be funky, one song would be dark. I hate writing the same song twice. But yeah, there are songs that are separate that are part of the same story, and they're puzzle pieces that'll all connect when you hear Act 2.
So we delve in. We start with 12 rounds. It's like, oh baby, here we go, and the Reaper comes knocking. Then the Reaper comes knocking at my door. Great lyric right there. Love how you sing that part, how that part comes. But really, it starts off dark, and then it's like, you listen, you're like, I just got a smile. I was like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Perfect way to just. Now, 12 rounds, is that like coming out swinging type thing? Is there a reason behind that, or what was the?
I'll show you this. So I got this tattoo at the listening party. Okay. And that is.
So you just got it.
That's a 12. Yeah, I put a lotion on it like 10 minutes ago. And it's a 12, and that stands for 12 rounds. What 12 rounds kind of stands for is the opening line on the album is "Set fire to the roses on my grave," and what that means is when everyone else tells you that you're done or you're dead in the ground, you have to have that strength to be like, "Fuck you, I'm not done.
Right.
I've got more life to live, and I'm not going to let you tell me I'm finished." So that's what the song's about, and it's about going 12 rounds. It's like a
Boxing, yeah.
boxing metaphor, which is why I had my listening party at a boxing gym.
And it ruled, by the way. Shout out to them. Dog Pound, what up?
Dog pound, hashtag Smash City. And so it's like in life, you're going to get punched, you're going to get knocked down, and it's about standing up and trying to last the whole fight. So that's what that whole song is about, and I thought it was a very good anthemic and meaningful start to the album.
Yeah, definitely a great intro track for sure. And like I said, the Reaper comes knocking at my door. Zombie Love, I love in Zombie Love the synths and the effects. How love that. Like I think it stands out. Like you said before, every song's kind of different, but that is just like like it's catchy but kind of different,
A little West Coast funky influence, but still keeps the darkness. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
And then we've got. I love you have this song called Guns N' Roses, written about me. You think of me when you sing it, right?
Guns with a Z.
Guns with a Z. If you don't know now, you do know. But during like the second verse or whatnot, the guitar, the palming guitar and how it builds up. I believe it's guitar. I thought at first it was bass, but then it's guitar that comes like it's heavy. Like it's cool though, but it's kind of infectious. Like it's a rad kind of thing right there. Yeah.
Guns N' Roses was probably the first song I wrote. That and Middle Finger were the first two I wrote for the album.
Okay.
And it's kind of a bridge between the Cab and Bones because it still has the funk, it's got the falsetto. So I thought that was a good segue to go from...
Before going completely like radical or something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, it's got a lot of dark guitar, but it's still got funk and makes you move a little bit.
And then finally, one of my favorite songs is obviously Mosh Pit, because I think for the holdovers from the Cab and plus somebody from me who I love pop punk, but I love everything. But Mosh Pit is just a jam. Like that live is gonna be sick, and it's gonna be sick.
That's why I wrote. When I wrote the song, I was like, I want something that I'm excited to play live. I want to just imagine people going apeshit to this song. And that was probably the one at the party that got the most reaction other than the ballad, which was the video we played. So yeah, I mean, dude, that's one of my favorite songs. It's heavy. It's got attitude. I can't wait to just jump around on stage.
Well, here's the thing, man. We haven't been able to see you on stage in a while, unfortunately. And dude, you live to be on stage. I mean, that's what you do. Are you itching to go back out there? Do you miss it? Or
if I remember how. Well, that's the question.
Well, you are kind of fit, unlike me, who's got this huge beer gut. Like at least you're still in shape though, so you won't be throwing up on the side.
I mean, we'll find out, right? After Mosh Pit a few times, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to get back on stage.
Work in progress and type thing. I mean, you just want to make sure everything's kind of
I
set.
just want the album to come out. I mean, I can't go play a full set and no one knows any of the songs. So now that I have an album out, I can start preparing for that and put my band together. And Dave Briggs, who was my drummer in the Cab, he's going to be in the band. And so yeah, I'm kind of in those early stages now and figuring that out. And I also love doing acoustic shows, so I'm sure we'll be doing some sort of secret or small acoustic shows soon. Just to connect with the fans and to thank them for being so patient and all that.
We've known each other for way too long. We kind of grew up together, at least in the scene, et cetera, throughout all the different genres and hairstyles and everything. Did you ever, a lot of our friends have come and gone in the musical sense, in the music sense. Did you ever kind of count yourself out or be like, shit, man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to put something back out?
I think that's the whole 12 rounds thing. It's.
But you personally, music-wise, were you ever did you ever self-doubt yourself, shit, man, this is a lot harder than I thought?
I think self-doubt is inevitable. There were definitely times when I was I never told myself I was done, but I did go. I would look in the mirror and be like, shit, is that it? Is the run over? But I knew that, all of my idols and people that it's they always, you have to be scrappy and you have to get through all of the no's and all of the failures, because I've seen so many of my friends who the first time they failed or the first time they started seeing any sort of downslope on their bands, they just gave up and got real jobs. But all of my friends who believed in themselves and just worked their ass off, and when they failed, came back and went, I'm going to work harder and I'm going to fight, those are the guys that ended up succeeding, because everyone fails, man. Like Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Katy Perry, like all their first record deals, like they got dropped. They fed the
signed horrible contracts.
deals. They did other genres. So you just got to figure it out. I think in life, that's always been my mentality, is just figure it out. If you want something, you got to grab it by the throat. You can't expect it to get handed to you, and you can't expect people to feel sorry for you. You can't look at yourself as a victim. It's like,
nobody really is. Let me ask you this: do you think? And I don't want to get all Oprah and stuff, but like, no one's going to feel as sorry for yourself as you do, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can't feel sorry. I don't ever feel sorry for myself. It's like I will choose. I'm going to make the reality that I want for myself, and then I'm going to do whatever I can to get there. And there were times when I didn't have much money in the bank, and I spent that money and went to 3 countries and came home broke and was like, oh shit. But I figured it out. I always figured it out. And, there were times when I spent, same thing, last penny recording demos, being like, shit, I don't know if anyone's going to like this song or buy this song, but I believe in it, so I'm going to spend all my money recording this. And I figured it out, and it got me a record deal. So you have to always fight, man, and you can't, I'm only 28. I've been doing this shit for 14 years. I feel like I'm 60 years old, but I'm 28, so it's like I have so much time, and yeah, dude, I'm just getting started.
Listen, man, we're fucking stoked. It's Alex Deleon. Obviously, you can follow him, Bohnes, Bohnes. Quick football talk. How are we looking this year for the Raiders?
Dude, I'm really excited to have
Gruden. Yeah, all right.
It's a big question mark, man. If Derek Carr plays well, we're a great team. If he gets hurt or doesn't play well, it's rough.
How would you sum up the Raiders? Like, unlucky? Is that a way to say the Raiders last couple of years? I mean, Carr was pretty much, he was.
The injury was unlucky. The Raiders are the Raiders, man. Like, it's always a roller coaster. It's never easy being a Raider fan, but Odell might be getting traded today, or this week.
He's a mess. Do you want him? You'll take him.
I'll take him.
Redskins would take him as well, man.
Derek Carr throwing to Odell, I would not say no.
Who do you think? Do you care about the draft anymore? I mean, you have like 3 quarterbacks going right now. Do you think Mayfield's as good as people say, or do you like nobody knows what the draft, and so many draft picks have been bust. Like, I don't even really care.
I really pay attention to who I want for the Raiders, and
it's true. He cares about his team.
And Saquon Barkley's. Right. Like, wherever he goes, he's going to be a stud. So that's the question mark for me, is he going to go number 1? Is he going to go number 4 to the Browns' second pick? Is he who knows? So there's a lot of question marks. Like, are the Giants going to go QB? Or are the Giants going to go Saquon? Like, but for me, the Raiders need to stack up on D. So I really like Mo Hurst out of Michigan. I really like Minka Fitzpatrick, Denzel Ward, Roquan Smith. I take any of them.
Something to somebody.
Yeah.
What picked you guys? Are you guys up early? I don't. Okay. All right. So you can get something. And if 4 quarterbacks go first, in that first stop,
because that's pretty much like having a number 6 pick, because we don't want a quarterback. So.
Yeah. My man, Deleon, anything else you want to say to the fans? I mean, what was cool is there was a listening party the other night. I was there. It was cool because I caught up with some old homies I haven't seen in a while. And also, these young fans were there too, man. Like, and they knew it, and they were like, singing along. They knew the video. Like, they followed. They know remixes. They know all sorts of shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, my fans.
I still don't know why.
You're telling me, man. I don't know how I got this lucky. My fans have been awesome, and a lot of them have stuck with me through ups and downs, through the beginning of the cab to the end of the cab, to that gray area period, to Bones. And so I just want to thank anyone who's ever come to a show, who's ever listened to a song, who's ever given me a hug after a show. And so many people have, cab tattoos, and now I would say about 40 or 50 people already have Bones tattoos. Right. It's pretty crazy. So I would be nothing without them. So I appreciate them.
There it is. Little Munchie, live like us. Once is not my boy Deleon. Check him out. And Act 1 out this coming Friday, March 30th. Of course, you can pre-order. You can do all that stuff. And then we got Act 2 coming sometime in 2018.
Absolutely.
That's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah, probably this summer.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Gunz, Deleon, let's go, baby.
Nailed it, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.